Costello, founder of the Talkit Oral Language Program for schools. What that means is that the school that your child's about to start is a Talkit Oral Language school. It means that the teachers and the staff have been trained to deliver quality oral language education to your young people. What I wanted to do in this short clip is to give you some ideas about how you can help and support your child in their transition to school. It would be fantastic if children were able to start school being able to say their name, their address and their phone number. Now sometimes this isn't always possible, but it's really good for them to be able to say at least their name and one other thing, and if possible all three. We would like them to be able to have most of the sounds of speech formed, and if there are any that you have concern with, that you haven't been able to encourage your child to correct themselves, do talk to your new entrant teacher, because there is extra help available if the child's having real struggle forming some of the clear sounds of speech. The other thing we would like to see, and you can really encourage your kids to do this, is to start moving away from the baby style of talk. You know what I mean. I want to go toilet, or Mies wants a drink. Really encourage them to talk in a grown-up way. Get them starting to talk just like you, and this will really help them in their communication process. I remember when I was a child, I knew lots of rhymes and nursery rhymes that I could recite by heart. It's fabulous if your child could have some of these up their sleeve before they start school. Memorising nursery rhymes and other little poems is a great way to get them to practice using their organs of articulation, their lips, their mouth and their jaw. Gets them enjoying the sound of words and helps them to begin that process of learning. So memorising a few short nursery rhymes is great. Mary had a little lamb, Humpty Dumpty. You know them all. Go to the library and get a book out. Teach your kids to say a few rhymes. The other really great thing we would like them to be able to do is to ask a question. Now this might seem pretty straightforward, but often what we find is that kids arrive to us and they might say, "Hey Mrs. Costello, my pencil's broken." And I'll say, "Yes, so your pencil's broken. What would you like to ask me?" "My pencil's broken." And I will say to them, "So what is your question?" "My pencil's broken." No, that's not a question. The question is, could you help me sharpen my pencil, or could you find me another pencil? Asking a question is a really important part of the communication process. So encouraging your child to ask questions and not just make statements will really help them in their oral language. So those are some of the things your kids should be able to do before they start school. Now, what can you actually do at home to help with this? The very first thing you can do, and the very best thing you can do, is to talk to your kids. Talk to them about what's going on around you, about what happened in your day, what happened in their day. Read them stories, obviously, but talk to them about what's happened in the story. Ask them questions. Get them to ask questions about things they were wondering about. Having discussions is a really important, robust part of beginning to be a great talker. Of course, singing and learning rhymes is great as well, so you can add all of those fun things into your daily routine. Now there is a couple of things that we don't want you to do. We don't want you to answer questions for your child. So if someone asks them a question, another adult, a teacher, be careful not to respond for them. Wait, pause and encourage your child to answer themselves. If they're really struggling, which some will, we do understand, give them the answer to give the teacher. So for example, "Oh, hello Susan, what have you got in your lunchbox today?" Susan sits there and goes, "I don't know, I'm not going to say." Mum's standing by Susan and she says, "Go on, tell the teacher what you've got in your lunch today, Susan." Susan still doesn't want to tell the teacher. So what the parent says to Susan is, "Susan, can you please say to the teacher, 'I have an apple and a sandwich.'" Can you say that? And then Susan hopefully will look up to the teacher and say, "I have an apple and a sandwich." Now it might not be perfect, but it's Susan that's talking and not you, not the parent. We want to encourage them to answer their own questions. The other thing that you can do is not to clarify. So it's in the same vein. So if the child answers and it's difficult for us to understand. Maybe they've said it too quickly, or the sounds aren't correct, or the grammar's not quite right. But you understand, but you know that the adult or the child that your child is communicating with doesn't. Don't clarify. Ask your child to say it again. And if it's still difficult, tell them what to say and get them to repeat. So you're basically channeling your ideas through them and giving them the confidence to answer. So what will happen eventually, and it won't take too long, I promise, they'll be answering for themselves. But the longer you answer for them and the longer you clarify things for them, the longer it will take for them to get confidence to communicate. So there's two really important things we'd like you not to do. Your child has started a fabulous journey in the education process. Enjoy your journey into school and enjoy talking to your kids.